Hello, and welcome to Positive Vibes with Buster Brown. I'm Buster B. Listen, if nobody told you today that they love you and that you're handsome and beautiful, can I be the first to say hello? I love you, handsome, and I love you, beautiful, just the way you are. So if your atmosphere was dark or negative or heavy, a smile and I love you to the person in the mirror will shift that whole thing. That's what I'm here to talk about today, an inner harvest and that place where you feel closest to God. I notice my voice is a little raspy, right? And sometimes it cracks. When I was 11 years old, I always wanted to be a radio DJ. Never thought that I would eventually host a show on BET for 3 years called Black College Sports Today. I would do TV news, have my own TV show, The Buster Brown Show. I just wanted to be a DJ. All of that stuff happened. And then the unthinkable. I lost my voice. Got polyps in my vocal cords. And I couldn't do radio anymore. Doctor told me I might not ever speak again. Well, the surgery was successful. Then 4 years later, it came again. And then it came again. And I'm asking God, I'm like, Lord, you brought me this far. I dreamed about this when I was a kid. So don't hold me accountable for my desires as a kid to prove something to me, Lord. Don't do that. Don't take this. Because as a young man, I just never had any peace, right? I didn't have, the girls or anything like that a kid thought was cool to have, right? Then when I became an adult and I started DJing at the clubs and then radio came along and TV, then all of the attention that I've always wanted came. Full circle, man, full force. And then I lost my voice. I was depressed and suicidal. I was in a very dark place. And one day I was in my car. That's how I found my inner harvest. And one day I was in my car. And the wind was blowing, and it was blowing the trees back and forth, back and forth. And right then, I felt close to God. I felt close to God. I'm like, this got to be God. I felt like the wind was the spirit flowing inside of me, and the trees that were blowing were like angels surrounding me. And when I found that place, I found my inner harvest. When I found that place, the person that grew up not thinking he was handsome would look in the mirror and say, hey, good night, handsome. Good morning, handsome. Love you, right? With a smile. And that's when I began to build my confidence and to build my inner harvest. Wasn't concerned about the outer harvest because I had developed the outer harvest, right? I was famous to people, but I couldn't appreciate the outer harvest because I didn't have an inner harvest, right? I hit the stage, 50,000 people yelling my name. Had the #1 radio show in the entire area I lived. Then I was on BET. No matter which state I went to, everybody was like, there's Buster Brown. But I didn't have an inner harvest. So when I'm on stage smiling and when I'm on the radio smiling and lifting everyone else's spirit, my spirit was below my feet. My spirit was lower than a snake's belly. That's what my spirit was. It was that low. It was that dark, right? Struggling with my voice, all these different surgeries. And I'm thinking my days are numbered on the radio because I can't keep doing this. The audience is not going to continue to embrace it. And the company is not going to continue to keep me with this off and on, losing my voice. And eventually came to pass, right? Couldn't do live radio anymore. Definitely couldn't do live news or live TV because of the voice. Dark place again. But at that time, I'd already found my place where I feel closest to God. So when I was going through a depression in a very dark place, suicidal thoughts, I thought about that place when the wind is blowing and I see these trees blowing and I feel like these angels are surrounding me. I developed that inner harvest again, that inner harvest. And I said, Lord, if you give me another chance at whatever it is you want me to be, I promise you I won't blow it. God said to me, what if I took your voice? And I'm like, listen, with this inner harvest that I have, even if you took my voice, I know you'd have something for me to do. Whether it's right, whether it be miming, no matter what it is, if you took my voice, I know it's for a greater good. And I know you'd have something for me to do to serve you. And that's what happens when you develop an inner harvest. See, because your will is no longer a big concern. It's all God's will at that point. And that's where you find the peace. That's where you find the peace. That's where you find that inner harvest. When you're okay with whatever the results are, when you're okay with that, that's when you have that inner harvest. And then anything that you're surrounded by, you're going to take care of it. So whatever harvest that may be, you'll never lose it. You'll take care of it, and it will appreciate you and give back to you. Develop your inner harvest. Have you found that place yet? If not, find your place where you're closest to God. See how simple mine is? Wind and leaves, the Spirit of God and angels, right here and right here. Find your place. Find that inner harvest. It's so important. Because what happens when you have that inner harvest, whatever the results are that God has for your life, you're going to be at peace with it. And you're not going to be concerned with what men and people around you think. You're going to know this is the place where I'm supposed to be. How cool is that? Find an inner harvest. But the only way to do that, you got to find that place where you feel closest to God. Mine was simple. Wind, leaves, trees. Find yours. It's there. But you got to go tap into it. Remember, don't go to people, go to God. And that's when you'll get results. Peace.